Hey guys, it's Grand Admiral Thrawn, and today I'm back with another Black Series review. I know it's been a while since I did one of these, and for that I'm sorry. But today I'm here to talk about Greef Karga from The Mandalorian, specifically his Season 1 look. Because Greef Karga, believe it or not, has at least 3 Black Series figures. I can't remember if he has one for Season 3 or if we're getting one for Season 3, but I know he has 3 figures, which is pretty impressive. But anyway, today we're here to talk, well, I'm here to talk about his Season 1 action figure, and I don't really want to waste any more time about it, so yeah, let's get into it. So one thing I really like about this figure is Greef Karga doesn't really have that complicated of a design, but they still got all the little details right about this figure. They've got it right about how his clothing is, where his underneath his coat is a lighter shade color, and then how his most of his outfit is both a darker shade color under the coat, but the sleeves are the lighter shade. He has his gloves, he has his boots, he has his belts, and he has his coat, which, by the way, I really like this plastic coat. Sometimes plastic cape-like coat things can be an issue with figures, but not here. This time it actually really works and is a good feature for this figure. And this figure actually has a bunch of features and accessories and just cool stuff to talk about. The main one I think to talk about are how he has holsters for his blasters, including one that is actually hidden by his coat, just like how it is in the show. And speaking of his blasters, we actually got a new creative mold for these blasters. They're actually just like how they are in the show, and we haven't had these before. We got these new molds just for Greef Karga. They're both the same, and they're both really good. They fit into his hands nicely. He has dual hand wielding for his blasters, which I like because he's a dual wielder. And he's actually a really good gunslinger in the show. I don't think a lot of people give him credit for that. But yeah, this figure looks a lot like Greef Karga, and I'm really glad they did that. He has his coat with the little strap on it. He has the belt here, how it goes around the whole figure, and he's got a lot of great detailing on this figure. Just like, look at the gloves. There's a brown stripe around the outer side of the gloves. That's pretty cool detailing. He also has great articulation in the feet, the knees, his arms, his hands. He has articulation everywhere in this figure, and it can lead to some great posability. But my favorite one of his articulation has got to be his hip ones, because it's all in the hips. But anyway, yeah, I really do like this figure. I'm going to come back to it real quick, but right now I want to actually talk about the box. So I actually really like the picture they chose for Greef Karga here. It's simple but effective. It does its job, and you don't need him having his blasters in it. You just need Greef Karga in there so you know what character it is. But they still included some cool background details. Like, for example, in the background you have Mandalorians during the battle on Navarro between the bounty hunters and the Mandalorians. That's really cool how they have Mandalorians up there with jetpacks. On the back you have the same photo but a bit bigger and more about the actual character, along with a little information about the guy. And he is number 6 in the Mandalorian wave, which is kind of early. I was expecting him to be a lot lower down the line, but nope, he's number 6. Anyway, it's a pretty basic box, but it doesn't really need to do anything else. It's effective and it looks good. Anyway, coming back to the figure now, I just really like what they did with this figure. It looks just like Greef Karga, and it's effective at its job. I mean, there's not really much they could have given him for accessories. Maybe a bounty puck or something like that, or maybe some drink, because he is drinking a lot, because his base is in a bar for Season 1. But other than that, I can't really think of any accessories they could have given him. But, yeah, there's still a lot of other cool things to talk about with this figure. The main one has got to be how accurate the face looks on this figure. You can tell they used the photoreal tech on this one, because this figure's face looks just like Carl Weathers. So much so, you could say this is a Dylan action figure from Predator. Okay, maybe not, but it looks just like Carl Weathers, and you could pass him for some of his other roles. But yeah, like I was saying earlier, he has great posability. You can put the figure in for him dual wielding like this, or just had his hips like that. He's dual wielding there. There's a lot of great details on this figure and some great articulation. And yeah, I think I've covered about everything I have to with the Greef Karga figure here. I think this is a great figure. I'm going to give it a 10 out of 10 because there's not really much better they could do for a Season 1 figure. It looks just like him. His coat is accurate. The box is good job, has nice detailing on it, and the figure looks amazing. So yeah, this is basically all I have to say. This figure is a 10 out of 10, and it looks just like Carl Weathers. But anyway, this is Grand Admiral Thrawn signing off. I look forward to our next encounter in my next video.